So if you're looking at Kansas offensively, out of the 75 points per game that they score, 4 guys make up 60 out of the 75. That's the 3 guards in the backcourt, Darryn Peterson, Melvin Council, and Tre White, and then Flory Bidunga inside. So we're going to concentrate on those 4 guys and take a look at some of their film, and that will give us a good feel and overview and idea for this Kansas team. So we're going to take a look here first at Flory Bidunga. Good position inside against Akpara, who is not a small defender. But you can see Bidunga has some sneaky strength there. Gets the position, is able to finish. Very good diving to the rim. Kind of has that JT Toppin-esque one-handed push shot. The thing that pleases me about Flory is that he's very aggressive. You would think, maybe you would think upon first look that he'd be more of a finesse player, but he's truly not. He's an aggressive player, doesn't mind contact, likes to be in the thick of things, and he's extremely athletic, and he's getting more skilled each week that goes on. So it's been fun to see. Nice finish. Kind of like suboptimal conditions, right? On the run there. Doesn't have his feet set, but he's able to finish. Nice head fake, good finish. Good catch. Obviously a good finish. Runs the floor. And a good finish. So now you're looking at the game versus West Virginia. Catches it in transition. Great pass. Look at that. One dribble. He knows Tre White is here. Like, that's something that cannot be overlooked. Because he never turns his head to him before he passes it to him once he has the ball. Peterson gets around the screen. Good catch by Flory. And a good finish. He knows how to be in the right spots. Look at him shift over. Here he just beats everybody down the court. What he does for this team is cannot be overstated. He gets a steal or gets a deflection, and then all these guys are ahead of him, but he just works harder to get up the floor and has enough to get off the floor and dunk it. He's by no means a lazy player. Good activity, good finish. So Melvin Council Jr. is a really good player for this team. Transfer, senior, very long, can finish in the lane, gets into driving lanes very well, and uses his length and his skill. He can also shoot it. He doesn't shoot too many threes a game, shoots low 30%, but really terrific for this Kansas team, and his driving ability, more so than anything else, stands out when you watch him this year. Just finds driving lanes really well, and he's able to finish, which is a skill in of itself. Good patience, and his ability to finish these drives is really consistent. Tre White is having a terrific year for Kansas, and I don't use that word lightly. It truly has been a terrific year. Averaging 14 a game, on 46% shooting, 43% from three, 86% from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, not great, but he looks like an NBA player. I'll be honest with you, he looks like an NBA player. The way he shoots it, the way he's able to score it in the half court, score it in transition. He's smart. He's a team defender. He communicates. He has some Jared McCain in his game, to me, and I really like what I've seen from Tre White. He's a very secure ball handler, and he can shoot it. That's a good combination. Catch and shoot, quick release, ready on the catch, and it goes in. 43% from 3 again. Coast to coast, nice finish. He also plays hard in terms of rebounding, and he hustles, and those things aren't showing in this specific clip, but I did want to mention that. We saw this play before. Good hustle by El Marco. And then Tre is ready on the catch. And then the next possession down. Just in rhythm. He's an in-rhythm shooter. Unselfish play. Ready for the shot. Quick release, and it goes in. And if you're going to talk about Kansas's backcourt, of course you have to include Darryn Peterson, the stellar freshman. Seems like a really good teammate, cheering on his guys. He's unselfish. He makes such difficult shots. He's a near elite playmaker at this point, and really is giving a burst to this Kansas backcourt. Of course, Tre White and Council and the others are doing their thing, but when you add Darryn Peterson in there, it truly does kind of take the whole thing to another level in a way. So averages 19.5 points per game in 28 minutes, shooting 39% from the 3, 45% from the field, and just is the complete offensive package from the point guard spot, and he can make really tough shots. And of course, this is not a scouting breakdown of Darryn Peterson. We only are looking at a couple of the Kansas games, so we're not trying to find his best plays for the season, but these are just some plays that stood out on film in the games that, we were scouting for this specific video. Comes off the pin down. Nice touch. Such powerful control of the dribble with his left hand. The poise and the maturity is elite from Council and White. Peterson is not far off in terms of his poise. Obviously, he's only a freshman, and he's a phenomenal player in his own right. And the talent is cumulatively near elite as well, or elite as well. So they have a really dangerous thing going in their backcourt. Over here, you see Tre White, number 3, just nice, savvy back cut. Gets an open bucket. Good pump fake by El Marco Jackson. You can't omit him when talking about this team as well. Good pass by Council. El Marco again. And then Jamari McDowell comes off the screen. He can also pull up. This is really dangerous when you have 4 or 5 guys who can do this. Of course, they have 3 consistently, but when Jackson and McDowell are playing really well, it makes them very dangerous. Nice cut there by Rosario, also a freshman. He played really well earlier this year. Defensively, Kansas definitely has some vulnerabilities, but I don't want that to sound like they're a bad defensive team, because they're actually not. They're really connected defensively. They hustle, they rebound, even though they play smaller lineups. But bigger teams do take advantage of them, whether that's driving from the perimeter or taking advantages of mismatches inside. So we'll take a look at film of that. But before we do, we'll just quickly look at their roster. So we can see, obviously, Peterson, White, Council, Elmarko Jackson, Jamari McDowell are all guards. And then the only big man they have is Flory Bidunga and Bryson Tiller, who get some minutes. And then they have Paul Mbia, who does also come in. So they are a little bit thin. So you see Nate Ament going at McDowell, and it's just an easy bucket. And it's not just Nate Ament who does this. If you look at their film, Isaiah Evans did it to them at Duke as well. Dame Sarr did it as well. So any big guys on the perimeter tend to have some success. So this is, I believe, the next possession down after we just saw Ament do it once, and now he goes at Tre White, and he does it again. Now over here, they double Boozer, and if they play against any big they're going to have to double, they're going to be in big trouble. So even though Kansas's defense, their help defense, is some of the best that I've seen this season, if playing against such big players, it's going to be a problem if you double Boozer here. You got Ngangba with a clear path to the basket. Now here against Duke, you got Isaiah Evans on Tre White. He has the height advantage. Now over here you got, they swing it to Dame Sarr, and the big guy just kind of uses his size and his length, and he had a step ahead on the play, but still he's able to kind of muscle his way through. So now over here, Kansas is just giving up. I mean, I guess this is intentional, I would assume, to have Jamari McDowell on Ngangba, but nevertheless, Duke takes advantage of it. So again here, they decide to double Cameron Boozer, and then Ngangba gets an easy bucket inside. So now here against West Virginia, they get Lorient the ball inside, and there's only but so much they could do on that matchup. Sometimes they do play undersized. They still have really good half-court defense, all things considered. They're very connected. They're in the right spots in help. They close out hard. They play with good instincts. They help each other out. They rebound. They hustle. So we'll take a look at those things. And they're real things, right? They really do make a difference for this Kansas team. Good stunt there by Flory, able to recover well, and great help defense by Rosario. This is a team that's locked in defensively. They do have size limitations, but they're locked in defensively. Another possession here. Yeah, they're trying to feed the ball to Boozer. The help comes. Elmarko Jackson's trying his best on Ngangba. Jaden Dawson is heads up between the ball and his man. Same with Council. Great defensive awareness there. Cross-court pass. Number 1 is there. You can see Elmarko going out to Darren Harris. You can see Bidunga in the right spots. He goes out to Harris. And great recovery by Elmarko Jackson. So just see that one more time in real time. So it's very interesting. They have a freshman, Rosario, on arguably the biggest player on Duke, Ngangba, but Kansas is still able to make it work. Mbia comes over to help. The rotations are there. White gets the good contest, and then Kansas gets a good rebound. Good D by Tiller. Great activity by Bidunga. Look at him have the smarts and the awareness to just punch the ball off the glass so his teammates can have an opportunity. Right there. Here they are against Iowa State earlier in the season with some nice defensive rotations. Good help. Let's look at it again. Lipsy picks up his dribble, gives it to Heisey. Great help there by Jamari McDowell. Jefferson, I guess, can maybe catch and shoot it, but he doesn't. Right there on Momcilovic on the catch. He's the best shooter on the court. Doesn't give him any breathing room. Has to pick up his dribble. McDowell's here with the help. Good strip by Elmarko Jackson. Good help. Just a solid defensive possession. Watch Flory Bidunga on this play. He's right over here. So he sees Bateman kind of has a path to the basket, and he just picks him up, slides his feet. Now he switches on to Josh Jefferson. Gets a deflection out of bounds. Against West Virginia. Just a good vertical block by Flory there. Good switch. Good recovery. Look at Tre White pointing, communicating with the freshman. You got two freshmen here, Rosario and Tiller, and you got a senior in the back. You got a senior here and another freshman. You got three freshmen on the court, but Tre White right there pointing like, hey, get back, Bryson, and I'm going to help you while you try to get back. Gets back. Lorient makes it, but that's good D. Council gets around the screen, the bottom of the screen. Peterson able to shrug off the pick. Good help there by Darryn Peterson. Staying between the ball and his man. This is very interesting because you got Flory starting on number 55. You got Tre White on the ball handler. And now look at they just improvise and play good team defense. So Flory's there to help. Kind of switches off. Tiller gets Flory's man. And now Flory's kind of in no man's land for the time being, right? And that can be dangerous typically, but he sees what happens and he recovers onto number 0. So many times in college basketball, you won't see the guy make this kind of defensive adjustment on the fly, just knowing what happened to his man and where his teammate's man has become free to pick up the free guy. Now he gets on Brendan Lorient, is in his grill, and it's a great block. Take a look at a couple of nice plays from Kansas in terms of their hustle and their rebounding. So Rosario misses, and you got White just crashing in. Mbia gets the rebound. And let's just see how White gets this rebound, right? So he's on Cameron Boozer. This is, White doesn't have the favorable matchup there, but he's just able to, just an effort play to get in there and mix it up, and it ends up being an and one for Tre White on this play. So over here is a turnover, but they do a good job recovering from that turnover on this possession. They got a mismatch here. I'm not sure why Boozer didn't try to take White there, but he doesn't. Let's look at this again. It's nothing obviously complicated at all, but White puts a body on Boozer here, and that can't go unnoticed and gets the rebound. So here against Iowa State, see Elmarko Jackson with a nice hustle play. So he loses it, but he's willing to dive on the court. You don't always see that from all the teams, and then that ends up in a Tre White 3.